So for every brand that wants to go global, it is important that you have a good outline of whatever you want to do as a brand.
Brands need to develop a clear elevator pitch and tagline that succinctly communicates their core values.
Welcome back to another episode of our podcast series. In the last episode, we had a great discussion on the differences between global and local branding and the importance of balancing consistency with cultural relevance. Today, we are diving even deeper into the world of branding as we explore how to build a global brand identity. Whether you are an aspiring marketer or just curious about how global brands like Nike, Apple, or Coca-Cola stay recognizable worldwide, you're in for a treat. And of course, I'm not alone today. I'm joined by two guests on the panel. First, we have
Eric,
and
Priscilla.
let's jump right in. Today, we are talking about a global brand identity. A global brand identity is essentially the unique set of values, personality, and visual elements that make a brand recognizable across different cultures and markets. It goes beyond just having a logo. It's about creating a brand that resonates with people from different backgrounds while maintaining consistency worldwide. To kick things off, Priscilla, could you help break down the core components of global identity for us?
Sure thing. At the heart of any brand identity, global or local, is a core identity. This includes elements like brand's mission statement, vision, values, and positioning. For a global brand, it's critical that these elements resonate across cultures. You also have the brand personality, which refers to the tone, voice, and language the brand uses to communicate with each audience. For example, we have the Nike's Just Do It slogan, and it's bold and inspiring, which resonates universally.
Absolutely. And then there's visual identity, right? Derek, can you tell us a little bit more about how companies ensure their visual identity?
Okay, so when we talk about visual identity is very key for any brand. For a brand to go global, the visual identity is one thing that you should consider when thinking going global. So when we talk about visual identity, we are looking at your logo, your color palette, and your brand image. Visual identity makes it possible for your brand to be recognized. For example, you have McDonald's golden axe, which is very, very iconic. But in certain languages and certain regions, they twist the arc a little to make their brand recognizable but still maintaining consistency with their brand.
Right. So next up, let's talk about messaging. It's not just about what you say, about how you say it. Brands need to craft a messaging framework that connects with diverse audiences around the globe. For example, Google does this by maintaining a clean, trustworthy tone while adapting to regional language. So, Priscilla, what are some of the key messaging pillars that brands should focus on when building a brand identity?
Well, brands need to develop a clear elevator pitch and tagline that succinctly communicates their core values and unique selling propositions. The messaging pillars should also include brand storytelling. Companies need a compelling narrative that resonates across more regions. This story becomes the foundation for all communications, from ad campaigns to social media posts.
That's nice. Speaking of digital, Derek, what about a brand's online presence?
When we talk about the digital presence, this is what actually brings your brand to life. So for example, we have TikTok and Instagram. These are great tools that help companies change the dimension to which they want to reach their audience, and also not only that too, with these platforms as well, you are able to adapt to the digital space and create a cohesive digital brand identity, which helps you adapt to different regions and cultures as well.
Okay, as exciting as it is to build a global brand, there are some important global considerations to keep in mind. Priscilla, how can companies navigate the challenges of cultural sensitivity and language adaptation?
Okay, great question. So I think companies need to conduct regional market research to understand cultural differences and avoid missteps. What works in one country may not work in another country. A simple example is how Coca-Cola adapts its branding and by translating its slogan and tailoring campaigns to fit local cultural norms. This helps the brand to remain relatable without losing its global identity.
Exactly, and along with that, consistency is key. Derek, how do companies maintain consistency across regions while ensuring that employees and partners are on the same page?
Okay, so for every brand that wants to go global, it is important that you have a good outline of whatever you want to do as a brand. So, for example, if you take a brand like Coca-Cola, you realize that Coca-Cola has an outline of what they are expecting, what is their goal, what is their objectives. So consistency is very key because consistency doesn't only deal with your brand but deals with the people you are working with. If the people you are working with understand the message that the brand is trying to put out there, as my star clearly said, and also understand why the company exists, its values, this helps the brand sustain a very good, healthy relationship with its customers, and also the brand is able to stand firm. Why? Because it has what it stands for and it has what it's going for as well.
Okay, that's a great insight. Now, for our listeners who are thinking, how do I start building my global identity? Let's share some more practical tools. Priscilla, what are some resources or tools companies can use to streamline this process?
Alright, there are quite a few. Companies can hold branding workshops to bring teams together and align on the brand's global vision. Online branding courses are another great way to ensure that everyone is on the same page. For those looking for more advanced tools, platforms like Brandwatch or Binder helps manage and monitor the brand's identity across different markets.
Great, and of course, we can't forget the importance of staying up to date. Derek, how do brands evolve their identity over time?
Okay, so for a brand to do that, the most important thing here is that the brand should regularly conduct an audit. Not only that, to marketing research is very, very important because understanding your audience is very, very key as a brand. And I would like to say, what worked 5 years ago may not work in today's environment. So it is important also that businesses who want to make a solid brand identity always try as much as possible to adapt to the changes that are in the environment.
Well, as Derek said, keeping up to date is a good thing because you can able to catch up with your target audience and know what they want as the world is evolving. Well, that's a wrap on today's episode. We've covered a lot from building a core identity to managing digital presence and ensuring consistency. We hope our listeners are walking away with a solid understanding of what it takes to build a global brand identity. Thank you, Derek and Priscilla, for your valuable insights. I'm sure our listeners have learned a lot from you both.
Thank you for having me here.
Thank you. It was fun having this discussion.
And to our listeners, be sure to tune in to our next episode where we'll dive into another key topic on international marketing. Until next time, take care. Bye.
Bye.